You may now begin your presentation.
Be the change that you wish to see in the world.
This sentence has guided the 50 students of Enactus Université de Nantes in the 6 projects that they work on this year. 2 of which are new and 4 of which have been ongoing for 4 years.
Our projects are in Nantes, who have inside knowledge of local economic, social, and environmental factors. Because of this, we can effectively empower target audiences and measure our impact.
We will present 3 projects, an economic one, Money Coach, an environmental one, Univert, and a social one, Entreprendre.
What change do we want to be? What social, environmental, and economic factors did we take into account?
I want people to feel empowered and in charge, so they can find a job they want. And this is what Entreprendre does. It tackles a social problem, unemployment.
I want people to take better care of the environment, so that everyone can enjoy the planet for the long term. This is what Univert does. It tackles an environmental problem, recycling.
I want people to be in control of a budget, so that money is not an obstacle to achieving the LIFE project. This is what Money Coach does. It tackles an economic problem, managing personal finance.
The first project is Money Coach. What is the need for this project?
According to Mrs. Bouvet, a social worker at the University of Nantes, 56% of the students she meets have financial difficulties. The difficulties are worse for foreign students who face cultural gaps and financial differences.
The university partnered with us to offer us financial support and communication channels.
Based on the needs assessment of last year, we found that they need to manage a restricted budget of about 350 euros per month, to improve choices of spending priorities,
to get tips on how to buy wisely, to improve the knowledge of the banking system, and for foreign students, a better understanding of the purchasing power parity.
So how did we respond to these needs?
We engaged the students through collaborative workshops. For each workshop, first we gave them technical knowledge, tools and tips. Then we shared our own experience of managing our budget with the participants.
We empowered them by asking them to set objectives for the next workshop. And between workshops, we kept in contact with them in order to offer them a helping hand.
Through this action, we build the capacity for students to take responsible action for long-term success in managing personal finance.
The 5 social workers of the university also attended the workshop. This way, they were empowered and were able to use the contents of the workshop for students that they see all year round.
We organized 4 workshops, each one around different business or economic concepts. How to prioritize expenses, how to adopt daily habits in order to spend less and consume better,
How to understand the French banking system so as to avoid bank charges, and this year we introduced a new topic on how to have a better relationship with money.
Each workshop was repeated twice during the year, and this represents a total of 12 hours of training face-to-face with the students. On top of this, 24 hours were spent preparing and rehearsing the workshops.
And this year, we made a partnership with Finance et Pédagogie, a non-profit organization financed by the Caisse d'Épargne Banque. Mr. Marceau, a retired banker, chaired 2 workshops, the one on the relationship with my bank, and the new workshop about the relationship with money.
We also developed other channels of communication to reach more students.
Through our Facebook page, we reached more than 100 students. And this year, we developed a website which has been active for 1 month. This has represented more than 200 hours of student work.
We also advised future students during the University Open Day. We created and gave them a typical student budget with the big expenses and the financial aid they can obtain, plus a map of Nantes where they can find good deals. This represents 50 hours of student work.
Thanks to that presence, the university offered us 2 patches in the student guide, which will be distributed at the beginning of the next year to all the students.
We developed a media campaign. In November, we presented our project on Radio Prune, a regional student radio. At the same time, posters were displayed by the City of Nantes on its network of bus stop boards and other flyboards. The 20 Minutes daily newspaper also wrote an article about our action in March.
And what is our impact?
Chu, a 20-year-old Chinese student, took part in our project, and here is what he has to say.
Grâce à Enactus, j'arrive à économiser chaque mois avec mes courses 60 à 70 euros. En plus, j'ai appris comment gérer ma relation avec le banquier. J'arrive bien à négocier avec lui et avoir plus d'avantages vers moi. Et ça, c'est important. Et aujourd'hui, avec Enactus, j'arrive bien à réfléchir. J'ai pris l'initiative de réfléchir, de penser mieux gérer mon argent. C'est ça ce que j'ai pris avec vous. Merci beaucoup.
So, you can see our money coach has positively impacted the quality of life and standard of living of one student. This kind of story happened to the 39 students who participated in workshops, of which 69% are foreigners. Money is still a taboo and collecting data is difficult. But we asked all the students to grade a workshop and they gave us an 8.75 out of 10 average.
We also transferred valuable knowledge and skills to many of our students.
Through the Open Day, we advised 150 students on how to manage their budget for next year. 60 of them were interested enough to give us their email addresses in order to be informed of our future action or to join our team.
Through our Facebook page, we reached more than 100 students.
And next year, we are proud to announce that Money Coach will be included in the 7,000 copies of the Student's Guide. This is a great opportunity for us.
And what is a next step?
A survey was sent to all the university students. We received 141 answers that allow us to update our identification of a need and create new activities.
Our second project is Univert. Nantes was elected as European Green Capital of the Year 2013. We wanted to contribute by engaging the university towards a more sustainable campus.
We surveyed the students and received 210 replies. 95% of the population surveyed was willing to take part in a recycling scheme at university. However, the city's recycling scheme was not made available to them on the campus. What's more, 52.2% of students weren't even aware that such a scheme existed.
What is the need for this project?
As the students were ready to take responsible action for long-term success, there was a need to change the way waste is collected at the university and to increase the awareness of the students.
So we expanded the city's recycling scheme with yellow and blue bags.
How did you put our plan in place?
First, we have to convince the university to collaborate with us. We responded the university's call for proposals for a more sustainable campus. Out of 7 projects, ours was ranked first. This enabled us to secure the support of the City of Nantes and a price of 1,500 euros.
We targeted the building of the Management Institute. The idea was to experiment a plan that, if successful, could be expanded to the rest of the university.
Then, the bins were reorganized and placed in pairs. One for the recyclable waste, yellow bag, and one for the rest, blue bag. To obtain maximum impact, we conducted an awareness campaign during the National Sustainable Development Week. This way, we redecorated the building with yellow and blue painted rubbish.
We applied the collaborative approach with the students in 3 different ways. First, the City of Nantes sent us recycling ambassadors. With them, we conceived small games based on throwing different types of waste in the right bag. Then, a comedian played small acts many times in the week on the theme of recycling. At last, breakfasts were organized, both to finance the project and engage the students.
And what's our impact?
Since the implementation of this project 2 months ago, 20 pairs of bins, each one with a yellow and a blue 50-liter bag, have been deployed on the 4 floors of our institute. Each yellow bag is changed twice a week. So, the Institute has already collected at least 12,000 liters of recyclable waste, more than last year. In the coming years, we wanted to achieve an even greater impact by expanding our action to the rest of the university.
Our third project is Entreprendre. 4 years ago, we had the idea of helping long-term unemployed seniors.
In 2010-2011, the Entreprendre project trained and empowered 14 seniors so they can find a job or set up their own business. This was the first Entreprendre Academy.
In 2012, the success of this project helped us to build foundation to finance the follow-up of another group. We raised 8,000 euros in cash from different foundations and companies, as well as 1,000 euros in kind from the university.
In 2012-2013, we recruited, trained, and empowered a second group of seniors. This was the second Entreprendre Academy. We are now working on securing support for the third Entreprendre Academy.
But why seniors?
Everybody knows that unemployment is a major issue in France. And statistics show that seniors have even more difficulty finding a job than the average population. In September 2012, there were 957,000 unemployed seniors in France, and only 4% of these receive professional training, compared to 16% for those under 26.
What do unemployed seniors need?
Besides training, there are two complementary dimensions to Entreprendre, which answers the need of our target population.
The first need is to exchange with others in the same situation, in order to create social links and to make them feel they are part of a group. The second need is for personalized support, so that they feel that their own specific situation is taken into account.
For this, they need to regain confidence in themselves and in their technical knowledge.
How did we respond to these needs?
Our first action was to recruit seniors. We partnered with Pôle emploi and with Action 456, an organisation that regroups unemployed seniors. Thanks to this, 13 seniors took part in our project, and 12 stayed until the end.
Each week, for 7 months, seniors and students meet each other for 3 hours to discuss on the seniors' projects. This represents 60 hours of assistance per senior. Students were also asked to take a fresh look at the seniors' curriculum without judging. And thanks to this, the students noticed all the qualities and skills that the seniors had developed but were not able to see anymore. This represents 240 hours of student work.
Our goal was to show the seniors that they could rely on us students when they needed help, whether for technical difficulties or simply moral support.
In addition to these intergenerational brainstorming sessions, seniors attended 16 training sessions over 5 months.
David Duval, a professional coach, helped them to regain confidence and decide what objectives they wanted to reach, whether it was to find a new job, train for a new profession, or start their own business.
Lise Ferraton, partner of Equilibre, a consulting agency for entrepreneurs, taught them to manage their project. Indeed, she applied sound business concepts, both for future business creators and job-seeking seniors.
On top of this, one challenge the participants had to face was to organize a radio show. They had to select and invite guests, to prepare the interview, and conduct a debate on entrepreneurship and the mixing of generations.
The second challenge was to present their project in front of a professional jury. They did this presentation twice, 3 months and 6 months after the beginning of the project. They had to introduce themselves, make an assessment of their action in Entreprendre, and establish a plan for the future.
What are our results?
Madame Philippot and Madame Legon took part in our project, and here is what they have to say.
Cette confiance en moi que le groupe m'a apportée. Je ne sais pas comment, j'ai du mal à l'analyser, mais c'est vraiment la confiance que j'avais perdue que je retrouve. Même aux entretiens que je passe, j'ai beaucoup plus confiance en moi. Et puis une synergie qui a démarré à vos côtés, aux côtés d'Entreprendre, et qui se continue maintenant, puisque j'ai encore beaucoup de choses à faire et beaucoup de projets.
La dynamique de groupe et la bienveillance des seniors et des étudiants d'Enactus.
So, you can see how Entreprendre has positively impacted the life of those two participants.
That kind of story happened to 12 seniors.
With a 9,000 euros budget, we effectively empowered 12 long-term unemployed seniors. 8 months after we started our second Entreprendre Academy, here is what we have achieved.
5 seniors have found jobs with long-term perspectives, and 1 is working as an entrepreneur with a plumbing company.
1 is developing his plans to set up a business. He was accepted for further training in a boutique de gestion to transform his idea into a business. 2 found an internship.
3 seniors are still looking for work and have had several interviews.
What's your next step?
We are still in contact with the seniors. In order to help them beyond Entreprendre Academy, we are working on a partnership with Les Écosoli, a social economy association, in order to ensure a long-term assistance.
Our next academy will start in September, if we can collect all the funds that we need. So, as members of socially responsible corporations and foundations, it's up to you.
This is it. These projects are part of the change that we made happen this year.
With Money Coach, we empower students to manage their personal finance. 39 students were impacted. 5 social workers also gain knowledge with which they can help the students that they meet. 150 future students were made aware of the need to take responsible action to manage their future budget. This is the change that we saw.
With Univert, in 2 months, 12,000 liters of recyclable waste were collected. The success of this project means that we have the capacity to extend it to all the faculties of a university.
This is the change that we saw.
With Entreprendre, the business tools and concepts we introduced enable 12 long-term unemployed seniors to start a new professional life. A plan is to make a difference for the long term by establishing more Entreprendre academies and securing long-term partnerships.
Your presentation.
This is the change that we saw.
We acted locally.
Excuse me, your presentation time has expired. Thank you. We'd like to move into the question and answer period. If any of the judges have any questions?
Good afternoon. From your presentation, I gather that you're really relying on other people's money to finance your programs. Have you given any thought about how to make your programs self-sufficient?
So far, we have managed to have our projects that have lasted for 4 years using this sort of finance. However, we have got upcoming programs which should, next year, start to be able to generate a revenue. One which will be new and another one called Présentation that we have been working on for a while now, and which is an internet platform destined to help people find jobs and be against discrimination with this curriculum vitae. And that we're hoping to be able to provide to different companies, and that should be in place next year, as we have just started a test with that at the end of this year.
Pour vous permettre de finir, c'était quoi la fin de votre conclusion?
C'était be the change that you wish to see in the world.
Merci.
Sur le projet 2, est-ce que vous avez eu le soutien d'entreprises type Veolia Environnement ou vous avez tout fait tout seul? Univers.
Alors, bonjour. Oui, pour le projet Univers, nous avons travaillé avec Nantes Métropole, donc la communauté urbaine de Nantes, qui travaille déjà en fait avec des associations de la région pour recycler en fait des objets et créer de la réinsertion sociale avec les déchets recyclés.
Comment est-ce que vous comptez créer des nouvelles intraprendre académies avec la même équipe, ou est-ce que vous comptez recruter? Quel est votre plan d'action?
Nous voulons garder le même modèle qu'on a développé depuis 2 ans, puisqu'on voit qu'il porte ses fruits aujourd'hui. Mais on espère renforcer les partenariats pour que d'autres associations prennent le relais des membres d'Entreprendre, puisque notre projet dure 6 mois. Mais qu'après, bien sûr, on est obligé de faire une pause pour relancer une autre session. C'est pour ça qu'on a conclu le partenariat avec les Écosolis, pour qu'ils prennent ce relais après la fin du projet.
Bonjour. Sur le premier projet, Money Coach, vous avez travaillé avec certains travailleurs sociaux. Comment est-ce que vous les avez identifiés? Est-ce que vous avez prévu, dans les années à venir, de monter des partenariats avec plus de travailleurs sociaux pour démultiplier l'impact de vos formations?
Merci pour la question. Bon, depuis le début du projet, un partenariat avec les assistantes sociales de l'Université de Nantes a été fait parce qu'elle connaissait le besoin principal des étudiants. Donc, c'est un partenariat stratégique pour nous pour cibler les bonnes personnes, les bons étudiants. Et après, oui, chaque année, on a réussi à créer plus de partenariats. Cette année, par exemple, on a fait 3 nouveaux partenariats avec la Caisse d'épargne et Finance et Pédagogie, qui nous donne la prestation de M. Marceau, l'ancien banquier. Après, l'Université de Nantes pour toutes les salles, tout le matériel. Et aussi l'association Autour du Monde, qui travaille avec des étudiants étrangers, qui cible aussi les étudiants que nous souhaitons toucher.
Votre projet 1, est-ce que vous avez prévu de voir la ministre de l'Enseignement supérieur ou d'essayer de développer ça à un niveau beaucoup plus large? Est-ce que vous avez des plans là-dessus?
Merci. C'est pour le premier projet, oui. Et l'année prochaine, on va organiser une conférence autour de la relation à l'argent. Et tout d'abord, on va commencer dans notre institut. Et avec les enseignants, on va organiser des conférences pour les étudiants pour qu'ils puissent venir et voilà, commencer un débat autour de la relation à l'argent avec des professionnels, un banquier, une assistante sociale. Et voilà, c'est encore en cours.
There's only about 10 seconds. I'll have to not allow them to respond, but I'm sorry. So your time has expired. Judges, please join me in thanking the University of Nantes for their presentation and hard work.